leave mad, jaws drop with nothing to say, and I'm a mad rich kid, but nothing to pay.
What's good, everybody? My name is Gentleman Jugg.
And Son's here too.
And welcome back to the Gentleman Juggcast. What episode is this? 53?
Sure.
You have no idea.
It's after 52.
I hope so. Or this is going to be real awkward here in a bit.
It's like, watch, it's like 49 or something.
Right. Look, you guys, your boy Jugg's been sick. Old Uncle Jugg did not get the Rona, just so y'all know.
The Mackie.
I just got the regular old flu, and it put me on my ass. I'm still getting over it. So you'll hear probably some wheezing Joker laughs when I do laugh, but it's all good. Hopefully I'm not coughing all over the microphone here, boy, but yeah, it was a rough one. That's why we didn't get a podcast out last week. I was bad. 102 heat fever for like 3 days. Ugh. But we're good now.
You sure about that?
I think so. Okay.
Right, now you're good. Now we're good.
I got it out. We got a movie to talk about this week, though, today, boy. What's that one?
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. Came out in 95, I believe. I think I was 12 when that happened. So, I mean, for me, nostalgia's all over the place. Just boom, all over your face, neck, and chest, of nostalgia.
What's funny is that now every time I hear Batman Forever, I always think of Jackass Forever. But like, this is Batman's version.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get into Batman Forever. Yep. Came out in 1995. My mom took me to go see this movie with my brother. And we saw it, I want to say opening night. I think it was opening. It was packed in there. So it had to have been opening night.
So everyone there enjoyed it, and they cheered at the end and clapped like Avengers Endgame.
Well, you have to understand, superhero movies didn't come out on the reg at the time like they do now. What do we get, like 6 a year now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that one was like, it was like one every freaking 3-4 years. If that. And, we had just been spoiled with Batman Returns.
Yeah.
So they were like, hey, you know what? We spoiled him. Why don't we go ahead and, throw him a bone, give him something. And of course, Jim Carrey, who plays the Riddler in this movie, I mean, he was at the height of his powers at the time. Yeah. I mean, he had Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura 2 was coming out. Everybody was like, especially at school when I was 12, was doing all his Jim Carrey-isms and things like that. So he was a big deal at the time. So when they said he was the Riddler, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Why not? I didn't know that he was going to sit there and do like basically over-exaggerated Jim Carrey doing a Frank Gorshin impression, which is basically what that Riddler did. In Batman 66, pretty much everybody who laughed was the same character. Pretty much. The Penguin was also in there, and Burgess Meredith played him almost exactly like the Joker. So it's just one of those things.
So you're saying Egghead was basically the same as the Joker too?
I don't think Egghead laughed in the show, but I don't have like an in-depth knowledge of the show. I know Egghead, played by Vincent Price. He
was terrifying.
I mean, Vincent Price was a terrifying person at the time. So I can imagine that they would freaking just have him be terrifying and maybe laugh. I don't know. I don't remember Egghead that much in there. I remember the Joker. I remember Catwoman, Riddler, and the Penguin. Okay, that's who I remember. And the Catwoman was a villain at the time. So, but this movie basically is like the Batman 66 show because there's Dutch angles all over this sumbitch.
Ugh.
Okay, and just the feelings that are invoked from this movie really give you this sense of like, this is Batman 66.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all over it. So like, what's the origins of Batman 66? This is the movie. And not only that, I didn't know this at the time because of how this movie was shot and how it looks and everything like that. Like I said, we just got spoiled off of Tim Burton's, Batman Returns. So I'm sitting here thinking, that this is an entirely different universe because of how drastic the change was from that movie to this movie.
But it's not.
It's not. Apparently, this one and the next one, Batman Forever, are in the same universe with Batman Returns and Batman.
Well, it's a good thing Batman and Robin's there, because that one deserves to be connected.
I guess. I mean, how do you sit there and deal with like a movie series that just starts off great and then declines greatly? And then I even hear that like in the next movie that they were going to try to make after Batman and Robin, was going to have Jack Nicholson in it again as the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, even though he died. But the threads are all there. I mean, the same guy, Pat Hingle, is playing Commissioner Gordon. Alfred, what's his name? Michael Goff is still playing Alfred. I mean, it's still those threads are still here. But that's pretty much all the threads, really.
So, like, as long as Alfred and Commissioner Gordon are the same, they're connected.
It's connected. That's basically what it is.
It's like, look, Alfred looks the same, so it's connected, guys. Just deal with it.
But this flick was made for me, though, at the time. Like, this was up my alley. Because I was 12. This was the shit, There was a few things I remember as a 12-year-old that I didn't like, and we'll go through them. So, we'll just start it right now. So, this movie starts with us seeing the Warner Brothers logo, and that shit turns into a bat symbol. That was the first time I ever seen that before. And I thought that was cool. And then it plays its music, and I think the music is cool. I did. Okay, I was 12. What do you want from me? I was 12.
It's funny is that when I watched them, because I know I watched these like 4 Batman movies in order. So like after Returns, I hear this music. I'm like, what is this? What is this? Like, come on. What is this? Turn that off.
The idea was supposed to be, I remember watching deleted scenes or behind the scenes about this movie, and the guy was talking about the music he made for the movie, and he was like, I wanted it to be like a kid who was just making up a song while they play with their action figures.
It's like, no. If a kid plays with action figures, he's making the song from the first 2 movies.
Well, I mean, if he's a kid, he probably hadn't seen the first 2 movies. Okay, so now here he is. He knows of Batman, so he's just making up some dun 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 dun. That's shit. Okay? That's what it's supposed to sound like. Okay? But as soon as the music is over, then the very next thing happens where
the opening credits for one remind me of Superman because they just fly at you like his first movie did.
But it's way better though. You can't deny it, it's better.
Okay.
But that's just because of the sign of the sign of the technology of the time to make it look better. That's why.
Yeah, not the music.
Look, okay.
Look, I just hate this theme, and I don't know why, but I just hate it. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I wanna get up out of this chair and walk away.
Just walk. So the movie starts with Batman getting his costume on, and we've seen it before. We saw it in Batman Returns. We saw it in the first Batman. It's fine, but he's also getting his weapons and shit like that, and I'm like, this is cool. This is awesome, And then they show him walking to the Batcave. This is the most detailed Batcave we've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can see everything. I'm like, this is a fucking bat cave. This is a bat cave. Okay?
Not just a cave with a bat in a cage.
Yeah, with one bat in a cage, and then, you know, all the other bats are free, except for that one.
It's like, what did that one do?
I don't know. Maybe he shit on the Batmobile. Who knows? But then you see the Batmobile here, and I hate it. I hate the Batmobile. This stealthy vehicle,
Just
lit up like a son of a bitch Christmas tree.
I'm like, what is that?
And as soon as he sits there, Alfred says the first line, "Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir?" And what does Batman say?
I'll get drive-through.
And I'm just like,
I didn't remember that line, so when we were watching this and I heard that, I'm like, oh,
oh.
well, you know. I thought that was from Batman and Robin, so I was like, I'll just have to wait till Batman and Robin hear that. I'm good here.
You know, you're not good. You're not good here.
I'm like, oh, okay.
So, I don't know. Batman gets to the scene of the crime because apparently, I guess it's Two-Face. And we see Two-Face, and look, I'm telling you, boy, you know, I was into this.
I'm telling you that this was the first time I saw Two-Face, and I thought, oh man, he's kind of crazy.
The problem is that Two-Face acts like Two-Face in the very first scene, and then doesn't act like that ever again. Okay? He's funny. Just, you know, his mode is like evil side from here on out.
It was like my first time seeing Two-Face, so I'm like, oh, that's cool. He got a coin for a toy, but didn't even use the coin that much like later on.
I mean, he uses it in the beginning, and then
once at the end.
Then like a couple times in the middle, and then once at the end, and then that was the end. I mean, but I get it. I got it. I understood it. But the thing is, I had seen Batman the Animated Series, so I knew how Two-Face was supposed to act, and this was not that Two-Face.
Well, I hadn't. This is my first time seeing Two-Face. I'm like, so that's Two-Face.
Yeah, and it just didn't.
And then I go back later, and you see, I saw the Animated Series and Arkham games and stuff, and it's like, that's not Two-Face.
Yeah. Like I said, this was cool to me. I was 12, okay? And then, you know, like, Batman comes out of the elevator and they start shooting at him, and I'm like, oh, but Batman's too smart for that, you know, and he comes out the elevator anyways and starts kicking their ass, you know, and
okay.
I'm like, this is Batman. But Batman here, he's not like any other Batman. This guy can't be touched.
Yeah.
You know, when he's in that Batman suit, he can't be touched. You ain't hitting this dude. You just not hitting him. And
that's what makes this a pretty good movie.
Yeah, and the action in this point in time, I'm like, it's action right away. Because, I mean, like, how long did it take us to get to Batman in the last movie?
A while.
Like, a while. And before that, even longer. Okay? You know, so here we are, Batman from the get-go. I haven't even seen Bruce Wayne yet. Okay? But, I mean, everything is too clean and sterile and neat because this is CGI. They were testing CGI cities in this thing. So everything looks clean and neon, and you're like, this is a different universe, I'm sure of it.
Like, nah.
No, it's the same. You know, and I mean, like, Two-Face acts like, you know, a wild villain. Even gets, you know, he's not perfect until the very time he has to be, which is when he freaking manages to get a helicopter to fly into the Statue of Liberty's face and burn its face from the same side.
I'm like, oh, okay.
You know, I'm like, okay, so he's like Two-Faced out. And a part of me is just really wondering, like, what if Billy D was doing this? Because Tommy Lee is fine here, I guess. But, you know, Billy D, I would love to have seen what Billy D does.
I like how their names rhyme.
Billy D. Williams?
And Tommy Lee. Or, yeah.
They don't rhyme at all. You fucked that up.
D and Lee.
It's just a middle name, and that's it. That's it. Shut your mouth. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, Bruce Wayne's being played by Val Kilmer, and this is his only time playing Batman. I heard that he didn't really like it. He liked it, but he didn't like it. And all of it came down to the bat suit. So, you know.
Oh, you don't like that suit?
I mean, look, I don't like it. I mean, the bat nipples are there, and they're erect. Okay?
They're here to show that he's Batman.
That's how you know. How else would you know?
How else would you know that's Batman?
If he didn't have nipples on the bat suit.
It's like you see those and you're like, that's Batman.
Yeah, so we meet Chase Meridian also at this point in time being played by Nicole Kidman.
It's funny though, when I first saw this movie, I didn't even know her name. I was like, oh, it's her.
It's her. Look, I knew who it was from the beginning. When this movie was being, hyped up, what were they? They were showing like all these characters like in the movie. They had like four or five stars. So they all had their own little poster. And she was one of them, and that's how I learned who she was. I didn't even know who Nicole Kidman was before this point as a 12-year-old. So, whatever. Anyways, so we meet the Riddler being played by Jim Carrey. I've said it. And I mean, who else was going to play him at this time? I can't think of anybody else who could have played him at this time. Jim Carrey's fine. He's doing his Jim Carrey shtick. He is that. This is what this motherfucker did. This is what he did. He did this shit all the damn time. Okay. He shows Bruce Wayne an R&D project, and Bruce says no, and that makes him evil now. He wasn't evil until that moment.
And he's like, "Oh, he said no to me. He said no."
I know. And then we get back to Batman.
Like, oh yay.
Yeah, we were like, hell yeah, all right, Batman. He's suiting up to play Batman, only to go and see Chase Meridian on top of the Gotham PD.
I'm like,
I don't care. I was 12. I don't care. I'm an adult now. I still don't care at all. But I'm still happy that I got to see more Batman. I am. I don't care that he's talking to Chase, even though I don't care, about this whole scene, but it's Batman. And he jumps off a building and into his car. I never saw that before. Not live action, anyways. What? Anyways, so, what is Chase trying to do here? She's just trying to get under his cape. So.
Yeah, he even said that. You trying to get under my cape, doctor?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
So we go back to Edward Nygma in his lab, and he's doing his Jim Carrey shtick, and his boss comes in to yell at him for a while, and then I remember people laughing their asses off in the theater, but I don't remember me laughing in the theater. I don't remember myself laughing in this theater about any of the stuff that he was doing, but I know why it's funny. It just didn't get me. And I like Jim Carrey at this time, but I don't remember laughing at everything he did.
Did you laugh now?
I even less laughed now. So.
I feel like I've laughed at this, but like, probably.
I don't remember.
But I don't remember laughing. But I feel like I would have laughed at this, right?
I probably would have, but I mean, like, Jim Carrey has the ability to be great on screen, and then sometimes like take it too far to where I'm like, all right, I had enough,
I was just watching this, and I'm like, because I don't actually remember much of this movie, so I'm watching this, and I'm like, am I awake right now?
Do you remember seeing Two-Face's origin?
No, I was like, because I remember the movie's like he was just like this, right?
He's just born this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you thought. No, they showed his origin where, Batman is...
It's like it doesn't even get flashback or music. They just show he's just in court, then acid gets thrown and hits him, and Batman was just there, and like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And that was it.
That's all you need to know.
That's what happened. And then there we go.
It didn't even melt him. It looked like they just sprayed water on his face.
Well, I mean, do you want him to throw real acid on his face?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Two-Face would have been better.
So we get the first riddle. I remember solving this in the theater when I was 12.
I mean, I just solved it in my head.
And then the second riddle comes up, and I didn't solve this one in theaters, but they told me, and I was like, that was stupid.
I just think it's funny how when he delivers the riddle, he drives up to Wayne Manor like on his bicycle, right?
Motorcycle.
Yeah, motorcycle. And like he puts it in the fence, and I'm like, okay, so this is Bruce Wayne's house, so he'd probably have cameras there, right, to catch
You
whoever
would
did
think
this.
so.
So if he had cameras, he could have just figured out, oh, it's that guy that I said no to, and I could just put him in jail. But instead, he doesn't have cameras.
Well, the guy's like taking like like you can see over the course of this movie, he's like cutting pictures out of magazines and letters out of magazines and making the riddles with his bare hands. But then like over time, as he starts making more money as the Riddler, they start getting way more intricate and more expensive. And you're like, well, obviously, it's got to be somebody who's like doing this. Maybe the Riddler, who looks like a lot like Edward Nygma because that freaking mask doesn't cover his face. But whatever. Circus time. So
this movie's a circus.
Bruce Wayne goes to a circus with Chase Meridian, and I saw this circus and I was immediately like, this is lame. I've seen 3-ring circuses, and I grew up with 3-ring circuses. So to see a 1-ring circus, lame.
I was like, nah, this is lame. I've seen Madagascar.
Okay. Go with that then, boy.
I saw a tiger jump through a fire ring. This ain't nothing, bro.
We meet Robin being played by Chris O'Donnell here, who is not 17. He is clearly 32. Okay?
He looks older than he is. He has that face, That's just it.
I mean, I was 12, so I would not have known at the time that this is what a 17-year-old looks like. But I'm not 12 anymore. I'm not going to go ahead and share how old Uncle Jugg is, but
I'm starting to think that this might be the first time I've also seen Robin.
Maybe it might have been. I don't know.
And I didn't know Robin was supposed to be a kid, so I was like, yeah, makes sense.
Well, because it's weird because after his parents die, then they he goes to Bruce Wayne's house to be like his ward or something, and you're like, that guy is like 32. He clearly can live on his own.
He's like, nah, bro, live in my basement.
He's like, nah, I'm too young to live on my own, so I'm just gonna live with Bruce Wayne. But like the Riddler here is seeing, Two-Face for the first time, and I'm like, how are you seeing Two-Face for the first time? Hasn't this dude been captured by Batman a couple of times already? No. And the reason why he's out is because this is the 2nd anniversary, so you don't know who Two-Face is.
He was too busy building that machine thing in his house that had it moving its hand over light bulbs that said yes or no, or had the question mark, and
is dumb. So I don't know. Dick's family gets killed by trying to save everyone, but he's 32, so we'll just have him go live with Bruce Wayne. And plus, Bruce Wayne goes down and starts Batmaning as Bruce Wayne, and nobody even asks a question.
Yeah, I mean, we just get Chase being like, "Where'd he go?" But
well, the police are supposed to be there. The police are there. Why are they treating this freaking circus like it's the Oscars? Okay? Everybody's like dressed up in suits and fancy dresses and shit like that. And this is a circus.
Yeah.
Okay?
All that was missing is for Bruce Wayne to come down and like slap Two-Face in the face.
I've never been to a circus in a suit, but I guess I haven't lived. So...
yeah. Once you go to a circus in a suit, you can say
it's all downhill from there.
Just like this movie.
So we get back to Batman, and it's all Batmobile this time. Which look, like I said, this movie is bright neon and everything. So it's like it's not dark at all. You can see everything at night. It's like New York. You can see everything even at night, and especially this Batmobile, which drives up a building because it has that ability.
It's funny that he's being they just start with him being chased, and we don't know why they're chasing him, but he's just being chased, and somehow Two-Face is there, and I'm like, well, did we miss something?
Well, it was a trap. The guys were driving the car behind the Batmobile so they could funnel Batman into an area where Two-Face would be showing up with a rocket launcher. That's what that is. The problem is, though, is that he didn't know that Batman's wheels are going to turn sideways and get out of the way of a rocket.
Should have known.
That's his fault.
It's like, come on, the Penguin took it apart. So
okay, if the Penguin can take this thing apart, then you can too. Okay. All right.
And this is the same universe too.
This is the same universe. So the Penguin has taken apart this Batmobile. Not this particular one, but he's taken apart a Batmobile or two.
So you can Two-Face.
Okay. Anyways, Two-Face and the Riddler meet later on, and I mean, I'm trying to figure out how the Riddler even got there. Not because of the box. They said that he got there because he used the box that he, for some reason, already had in Two-Face's lair. But
somehow he had it there already.
The thing is that, you know, how did he get there? Because Two-Face has henchmen. You just thought about that. You was like, he did just walk in there.
I was like, well, he's better than you.
He's better than you. That's what that is. He just walked in there.
He just walks in. He's better than you.
Explains his plan, and then the Two-Face and the Riddler work together now, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's so good that he got his machine in there too without even.
And no one knew.
He was just sitting.
It was just sitting on the count. Nobody's like, hey, what the fuck is this?
So does that mean that he's already been in there before?
He's been in there.
And then he's just like, this is my dramatic entrance now.
Yeah. I'm just going to hide in the back while you talk about what you're going to have for dinner. And, and then I'm going to show up and I'm just going to start, you know, doing my pitch. And you'll be like, how did you get this thing in here? You know?
Nah, Two-Face didn't ask that. He's like, yeah, I guess that was there before.
That was there. It was already there. So what's the Riddler's plan? The Riddler his plan right now is that he's going to have Two-Face help him rob, steal, and get all kinds of stuff so that they can make money, so that they can fund the Riddler's invention, which is the box, which allows you to watch 3D television, but a side effect is that it takes some of your memories. You don't lose them, but he also gets to have them. So, and he puts them in his head. That's what the plan is.
It's funny because it's just a blender.
That's what it looks like anyways.
So when I saw this as a kid, I'm like, oh, so his signature's the blender.
Yeah, that's what he's got, the mind blender or whatever. And Two-Face, what is Two-Face going to get out of it? He's going to get Batman's secret identity. Okay, cool. That sounds fair.
Sure, man. Why not, I guess.
Yeah, so later on we see Dick Grayson break into the Batcave. Moving on. What I'm trying to figure out is how Dick stole the Batmobile.
Alfred just let him take it.
He just dropped the ball there, Alfred. But look, I guess Alfred's like 100 years old at this point. So the Batmobile should never be able to be turned on without Bruce Wayne.
I also like this Batcave security system where, like, it says intruder alert. The Batmobile comes out. It shows the computer. It shows everything. It
Everything
exposes
just turns on.
Everything's, like, on. I'm like, oh, okay. That's protecting it because you can see it now, so it's protected.
There you go. That's what all the alarm does is just let you know that there's an alarm.
It just lets you know this is the cave guy. They turn the lights on. It's like we just want to make sure you're invading the right spot.
Yeah. You know, so look, I know Dick takes the Batmobile and he does his little adventure, which is just as dumb because it's even more neon with black light, and I'm like next level. Don't give a shit. I don't know. I thought this was so cool, you know, and a lot of I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I'll nostalgia all over your face, neck, and chest. I don't give a shit,
especially if it's Batman and Robin.
Yeah, no.
You almost said yeah.
Because I knew that one sucked when I first saw it. And I was like 14, maybe? Probably. I don't know. But this right here was just not great.
Not good, bro.
Not really. I didn't enjoy it. And then, of course, you know, when you see, when they had this slowdown with Batman talking to Dick Grayson, you know, he wants to be Robin, like right away.
Yeah.
You know, and Batman's like, no. And he's like, well, I'm 32, so I can go be Robin, okay? You know, I'm just going to do it.
Like, you should be Nightwing at this point, bro.
You should be at this point.
Just skip to Nightwing.
Just go ahead and skip to it, you know. So we get to this part where the Riddler has his party. And, you know, the party's fine right up until the moment that Two-Face freaking busts it. But during this party, you know, the Riddler somehow tricks Bruce Wayne into getting a chance to read his mind. This later on forces us to go and to look at that the Riddler and Two-Face have figured out who Batman is.
Like, because he had one bat on the brain.
One bat. I mean, if I go in there thinking like I'm black, so if I go in there and I happen to be thinking about a bat at the time.
He's like, oh, he's Batman.
He's Batman. Go get him. Whatever. Fine.
So if a Joker went in there and you saw bats on his brain because he's thinking of Batman, it's like, oh, he's
the Batman. The plan is flawed right away.
But it just works.
It just happened to work for him, right?
Because he's better than you.
He's just better than you. So, we get to see the Riddler and Two-Face break into into Bruce Wayne's house, and the Riddler destroys the Batcave. It's funny. I did laugh at the time.
And now?
No, not even nothing.
When I saw it at the time, I'm like, oh, cool. He can blow everything up. And I'm like, now when I see it, I'm like, how is he doing this with that cane? What does this cane do?
Well, the cane is magic. It can open every door.
It just opens
It
everything.
even silences the Batman alarm.
I know. Like, he turned it off. And then he can just blow up the Batmobile with that thing.
Now, the Riddler, apparently, I thought he blew the whole cave up because that's what Alfred said, and what ends up happening? No, he didn't blow up everything.
He just
blew like, he forgot that you had a plane and a boat and another bat suit.
And another part of the cave.
And another part of the cave. He didn't go down that hallway.
Or he didn't also find the hallway where Robin's suit is.
Well, I don't think Batman knew where that hallway was. Okay. So it's fine, and then we get all these riddles that the Batman has freaking collected over, I don't know how many days this has been, a couple days is what it feels like, and he just kind of like cracks and be like, oh, the final riddle is Edward Nigma. Okay, so it's he's the Riddler.
I'm like, you didn't notice this when Edward Nigma was talking to Two-Face at the party? No one saw that?
Nobody saw Edward talking to Two-Face at all.
They're just like, oh, that's just a different guy.
That wasn't the Riddler. That was some other guy. I mean, come on, his hair's not even red, it is what it is, So this leads us to a new Batwing and a new Bat boat. The Bat boat that when it comes out and Robin, who's now Robin, because Batman's okay with this now, he goes in the boat, and the boat just drives and then gets blown up. So it didn't do anything cool.
Yay.
It did nothing cool. Okay? And what do you think the plane's going to do?
Well, it's Batman in the plane, so it's got to do something.
It's got to do something, right? What does it do?
Nothing.
It gets blown up. So it doesn't do anything.
So you might as well just not brought any vehicles. Just have them swim there.
It might as well just swam there. It would have done less damage, and he'd still be up a plane in a boat. So, but no, he's minus a plane and a boat.
So I guess the Riddler did destroy all their vehicles now.
Now he did. Yeah, he blew them all the fuck up. Hey, this is what happens. This is what happens when you let somebody like the Riddler get out there. He's going to blow your shit up, right?
Yeah.
Anywho, Two-Face meets Robin, and Robin just kicks his ass.
Yeah, and Batman said, don't kill him. And Robin says, I'm going to kill him. But Batman said, but this time don't kill him for real, though.
Yeah, so Robin doesn't do the smart thing and kill him, so Two-Face takes him hostage. So it's like, okay. All right. The finale. Batman finally meets the Riddler face to face again, I guess in his lair, right?
Yeah.
And
is this the first? Oh, no, this is the second time he sees the Riddler.
Like face to face. Yeah, this would be the second time. Because he hasn't seen the Riddler this entire time as the Riddler.
Yeah.
Right? But anyways, he's wearing his bat sonar costume, and The Riddler has Robin captured, who's because he's a scrub, and he has Chase Meridian captured, and his goal is to, let Batman try to pick one of them to save, and the other one's gonna die. And of course, Batman just,
I'll save both.
I'll save them both. So, here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tell you a riddle, Riddler, and he's like, okay, you can tell me the riddle after I press the button. That's what he should have done.
He's like, no, wait. I want to hear this first.
I want to hear this first. So Batman tells him a riddle, and then freaking turns his sonar on, and he throws a batarang at the giant blender above his head. I'm like, did you really need the sonar for that?
And I think it's funny that Riddler sits under the giant blender.
Just letting it blow up and behind his head. So, of course, Batman goes down and saves, both Chase and Robin. So it makes me wonder, what did Robin really do?
Well, he showed up and got Batman's boat destroyed, and then he got captured by Two-Face.
Yeah, so he's basically a liability here.
Yeah, and then there's that one time he stole his car.
Yeah.
So he hasn't
helped Batman at all.
I guess the only thing he did was get rid of that bomb in the beginning.
Yeah, okay, fine. He saved some lives.
And that's
at least a whole circus worth.
He saved the circus, and then after that,
when it comes to helping Batman,
nothing.
He didn't do shit.
I just think it's funny that this entire movie, Batman's like, you can't kill Two-Face. Don't kill him.
Well, I mean, Batman didn't kill him. Two-Face shows up after they save Chase, and then, he's like, all right, I'm gonna shoot you in the face, and he should have just shot him in the face. But no, he's got to use that stupid coin. But he wasn't thinking about using the coin until Batman said, hey, didn't you forget your coin? Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go ahead and pull a freaking roll of quarters out of my ass and throw them up in front of you and fuck you up. And look, he didn't kill Two-Face. Okay? It's not his fault that Two-Face lost his balance and fell into the watery grave. It's not his fault.
It's not his fault. Yeah.
Okay? This is one of those situations where it really isn't his fault.
I mean, he could have shot a grapple gun.
He could have done anything, but he just let him fall to his death.
Well, he didn't let him fall. He was falling too fast for him to react.
There you go. And that's how Two-Face dies, and Robin's like, I'm good with this. Later, the Riddler is upset because I don't know what happened to him. He's like...
He had a blender beam shot at his head.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, it jacked him up. And
green stuff.
We then get to see actually Arkham.
Yeah.
I don't recall ever seeing Arkham in any of these movies.
I recall hearing about it, but never, seeing it.
Yeah. So we see Arkham, and the Riddler's in there, and he's crazy.
He says, I'm the Batman.
No, I'm the Batman. Look, this is the end of the movie. There's not really too much anything else I need to say about this. What are you giving this movie, boy?
Well, I'm just gonna go with a 1.
A 1? Really?
I don't like it.
You don't like this movie at all?
I almost fell asleep.
I mean, I'm giving it a 2.
Ew.
What is ill shit? I'm giving it a 2.
That's too much.
Look, the nostalgia is the reason why I got a 2.
No nostalgia can save this.
For me, it was nostalgia because I saw this at 12 and I thought this movie was the bee's knees at 12. This was my shit at 12. And now in my advanced age, no. It doesn't work for me. And nostalgia is the only thing that saved it from getting a 1 from me. So, but we're going back to Marvel in this next week.
So
hopefully I'm not coughing all over the place and hacking up lungs and shit.
At least I can say I'm done with this movie forever.
You've been waiting to say that forever, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and call this an episode. And hey, like us on, Twitter and YouTube. Instagram, all that stuff, give us the 5 stars or don't. I don't care, just you do you, but also, force somebody else to listen as well. Okay, like you listen to it, and then you force somebody else on their phone to listen to it,
And then
you sit there and watch them listen to it.
Yeah.
You know, all of it's Gentleman Jug across the board. So if you're looking for us on all those platforms, that's where we're at. And tune in next time because the next one will be available
when it's ready.
I'm a mad rich kid, but nothing to pay. Sharp